attention on me. Lois Lane. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared. I am here with Taladia Plays. What's up, Taladia?
Hey, what's up?
I am here with the old man, Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, you old fart?
America.
Watch it. And we're here with the Heat Man himself, JJheat Blaze. What is going on, brother?
Let's get ready to rumble.
First off, long time no see, brother. It's good to have you back.
The man for whom the fires of liberty burn bright.
Yes, exactly. And what's up, Tevye? What's up, Cameron? What's up, Sean Franklin? So today we have a very America stream tonight. You may be wondering, why am I doing this now? It's because we were gonna do a 4th of July thing last week, but I got busy with my day job, so screw it. We're doing it now. So first,
how dare you be responsible?
So we're gonna talk about the Brave New World trailer, the new Captain America movie, the first Avenger. We're going to talk about Cartoon Network shutting down, San Diego Comic-Con possibly leaving San Diego, and we're going to do a Q&A. So what do you guys want to talk about first?
Let's go ahead and pay our respects to Cartoon Network, because
I was actually going to say the same thing.
Yeah,
even though we saw the writing on the wall as far. Remember the CN Real era when everyone was when the network was trying to copy reality shows like Destroy, Build, Destroy.
So it's an Adult Swim taking over the complete network or something?
No, they're offshoring all their networks to Teletoon. At least that's what I heard.
Because so what's happening to Adult Swim? Because Adult Swim was kind of like the success. It's still successful from what I hear.
Adult Swim is salvageable. It's probably going to still be consolidated, but any like cartoon footage, anything archived, is likely going to be licensed out. At least from what I heard. My sources could be wrong, or the situation could change. But Cartoon Network has been in a steady decline. I want to say as far back as 2015, 2016, Teen Titans Go notwithstanding, and God forbid we don't talk about that Powerpuff Girls reboot. Jesus Christ. But
well, the problem is cable itself has been on a general
decline. That too.
For some time. And the other problem is because like everyone's been switching to streaming. And the thing is, we're starting to see a decline in streaming in and of itself. Like we're kind of starting to see the consolidation happen with streaming. But that's a separate topic. But as far as like the cable stuff, because people have been cutting their cord for over 15 years, and I'm honestly surprised cable is still as much of a thing as it is.
And Tevye, to answer your question, is because the show can be made on the cheap, and it's just leftover footage from the DC Nation block in the 2010s.
And Max. And by the way, Cameron asked, so does this mean the channel is going to be gone?
Probably not. It's just likely just going to be Adult Swim and a bunch of reruns. But you're not going to see any new official Cartoon Network content.
And Tevye asks, what does this mean for Toonami?
Well, Toonami is part of Adult Swim, so it's been under the Adult Swim banner for at least 10 years or so. So I think that's pretty secure.
So let me ask you guys this. In memoriam to Cartoon Network, what was y'all's favorite cartoon and network show? Mine was Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Right here, buddy.
There you go, JJheat. A man of culture, I see.
Johnny Bravo.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's pretty good.
You
dare disrespect the son of a shepherd?
And Tevye, My Adventure with Superman was not on Cartoon Network.
No,
right?
No,
that's not going to affect My Adventures with. I don't know why that would affect My Adventures with Superman.
The thing is, Warner Brothers has been kind of slowly spilling off a lot of excess. Like you got to realize they sold Ruby to Viz. Like Ruby is not a WB property anymore.
No.
Now, was that a complete sale, or was that just like a full-on licensing?
Or is it a complete sale? I thought it was a complete sale.
No, it feels more like a licensing, because after Rooster Teeth collapsed, they just sold off left and right. I think
so basically, WB still owns the IP, but they license out to Viz. So Viz is going to produce Ruby. Like I imagine, like they said, season 9 is still coming. So I think all the RWBY content is going to be made by Viz under license from WB. Is that what you're saying, JJheat?
More, yes. Okay. From my sources, yes, RWBY was licensed out.
That would be the smart thing to do because then WB still has control of the property. It seems like a good smart.
Dave says WB should produce new shows under the Cartoon Network banner on Max. That's probably what they're gonna do.
I mean, so you want a tab on Max that just says Cartoon Network?
They have that.
Yeah, so they've already done it. See, that's the problem with streaming shows is everything is a la carte. So you don't just like tune to the channel and watch what's there. You pick out what you want.
Yeah.
Kind of makes things a little bit more difficult.
John Franklin says, my favorite show, Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans, and Justice League. A man of culture.
Question, Sean. You mean the original or the reboot? Because you got to be careful.
That's a good question. Dexter, Justice League, Samurai Jack, and then Eddie. Clone Wars.
Y'all don't know about Clone Wars 03. Y'all do not know Clone Wars 03.
Cow and Chicken.
That's a Nickelodeon show.
That's a Nickelodeon show, Nick.
No, I thought it was no. I think Cow and Chicken was
the old man is getting confused. It's all good. The old man is confused.
Because you might be thinking of
Green Lantern. Green Lantern was
Cartoon Network? Cow and Chicken was Cartoon Network.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you're thinking of Ren and Stimpy.
Nice. Clone Wars 2003 and Ed and Eddie. There you go.
Johnny Bravo.
Clone Wars 03 was so good. Oh, man. We will be talking about that show at one point on this show. I guarantee it.
Master class of animation.
The other thing about Cartoon Network is Cartoon Network was the gateway for a lot of anime fans. JJheat, I'm surprised you haven't said this yet. Cartoon Network is really responsible for bringing Dragon Ball Z to the West.
It was. The original Ocean Dragon Ball Z dub was via Cartoon Network. Toonami didn't really break into like the late 90s, early 2000s. Then an executive stepped down in 2006 and the block got buried for a decade because no one... that's a video in of itself, history of Toonami.
Yeah, I'm talking about late 90s, early 2000s, like Gundam Wing. Like Sailor Moon. Like
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Not Digimon.
No, not Digimon.
Digimon was Fox Kids.
Digimon was Fox Kids.
And it's superior to Pokemon. Yes, I said it. By the way, we're forgetting one show that was my favorite. That was my childhood growing up.
Teen Titans 03?
Transformers Armada.
That was a good show.
That was an excellent show.
Also, Cartoon Network carried Pokemon after it left Kids WB in the mid 2000s. I also think it carried Yu-Gi-Oh!
To a degree.
But Cartoon Network was the home of Pokemon for like a good solid 10 years.
So when I lived in Atlanta, there was a period, the way our channels were set up on TV, one channel was Cartoon Network, and then literally the next channel was Boomerang. So I would just go down, and then like 5 channels down was Nickelodeon. So I was like, there was like a point where like 10 channels were mine. I was like, I'm watching this stuff.
The thing you got to realize is Cartoon Network first appeared in '92, and since I'm older than dirt, I remember when Cartoon Network first came on board.
Yeah, see, Nick was formed when the Earth.
I love how you just interrupted what I was saying to make a bad joke. See, like we're talking about Boomerang. Boomerang is just playing the stuff that Cartoon Network played in its first 10 years, like all the classic Flintstones, like all the because Cartoon Network was originally just going to be a repository for old Hanna-Barbera shows.
That is true.
And they didn't really start making the original programming until about 95, 96.
96.
Like that's when you had like the cartoon block.
Preach,
you had a lot of new stuff come in, and that's when it really got going.
Yeah. Cameron, do you think WB will bring back Teen Titans Season 6? I don't think so. Not now.
No. Say what you will. Okay, let me cook on this.
Out of all the
one at a time, Nick.
Shows, all right. Do I go first or did someone?
No, JJheat was already talking.
Say what you will about Trouble in Tokyo, but at least it was a decent epilogue compared to what we got from Things Change.
Yeah.
So,
that's all I was going to say. Nick, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just want to say this. I'll say my thing. Well, it's about time. but no. Also, I was actually scrolling through Facebook while we're waiting. Apparently, the voice of Cyborg was also Ezekiel in The Walking Dead. I did not know.
Yeah, he was.
That is crazy. But I will say, out of all of like the old WB properties, Teen Titans is like one of the few properties that they could do an X-Men 97 style revival of. Justice League is not possible. Justice League is not possible because Kevin Conroy's dead.
They could do a Green Lantern series.
But okay, I don't want to spoil Crisis Part 3 for you, but let it.
No, I saw the script. I know.
If it's Jon Stewart and Shira like tramp-rising around the galaxy, then yes, I will watch that.
Yeah, but Nick, here's the problem. So in Crisis Part 3, they're gonna do something that makes reviving any DC animated projects impossible story-wise.
They're gonna destroy the universe.
Well, it's part of the original story, so.
All right, audience. As long as I have my hands up, there'll be spoilers.
Spoiler. All right, so according to leaks.
Wait, Jared, put a spoiler tag up real quick.
Okay, so let me do this. And then all this is according to leaks, but these are leaks from a source that was right about Crisis Part 2. All right.
So as long as this tag is up, please,
it's a spoiler.
Don't be spoiled. Mute the stream. Once the tag is gone, you can unmute.
So reportedly, Crisis Part 3 ends with the multiverse being destroyed and them only having one timeline, because the way they explain it is that the multiverse was created by the second Flashpoint at the end of Dark Apocalypse War.
So they're doing the original Crisis end.
They're actually doing the original Crisis and creating one Earth.
I mean,
which makes surviving those cartoon shows a little difficult because they do establish the DCAU is in there.
I mean, let's be honest. That's not going to last 5 minutes because all it takes is one producer. All it takes is Bruce Timm being like, "I want to do another DCAU thing." Like,
Dave brings up a good point. So are the Crisis movies just an excuse to destroy everything else and put all animation under James Gunn's DCU? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
James Gunn makes a cameo a la type.
Which actually, what's kind of funny, according to Brit, the guys creating the Tomorrowverse movies had plans for more movies, but like around the time 2020 or so, they got told, "No, you're wrapping it up."
That's going to go into my next point because, at least from a business standpoint, now I cannot confirm if there were any additional plans or they wanted to take their time and got interrupted from 2020 onward. I cannot confirm that. However, you can make the argument that the Tomorrowverse was just a series of transition films while the Warner Media Discovery merger was taking place, and then you got news from James Gunn with the DCU reboot. So, okay, we're going to rush all this with a Crisis adaptation, bada boom, bada bing, and a 4-year arc.
Yeah. So go ahead, Claudia.
Okay, so I wanted to ask something. So when is Part 3 coming up? Firstly, and secondly, so they're going to do basically the whole reboot universe and do a post-Crisis, basically.
Basically, they're going to cram 5 issues into an hour and a half. But to answer your first question, July 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So it comes out in 4 days, and then we'll find out for sure. But basically, yeah, they are like rebooting and consolidating, which is a stupid idea because I mean, Nick's right. All it takes is one guy to say, "No, I'm not doing one universe. Ignore it."
Yeah, the question is, are they going to bring back any other DCAU people?
I don't think so. I think the only people that are coming back are Kevin, Mark Hamill, and but Batman Beyond.
I swear, if it's not actually Kevin, either sound alike or they're using voice clips, I am going to be super mad because they use the excuse of, Suicide Squad wasn't his last role. He had 2 roles, and one of them didn't happen.
No, they said he recorded other stuff for. It said he actually recorded stuff for Crisis.
Well, let's hope it actually happens.
And by the way, I did see in the trailer they cut to the Super Friends Earth.
What other Earths are they going to like?
So far, all I know is DCAU and Super Friends.
So they are gonna bring back other DCAU because the only
Super Friends is not DCAU.
No, Kurt. So if I remember correctly, Batman is it Batman Beyond? Is he the DCAU Batman Beyond?
No, he's not.
So he's just a different one.
He's a different Batman Beyond, played by that actor.
That is really weird. Like, you have Will Friday in there. He's playing, like, why not just make him the DCU one? Like, I don't get it.
As far as I know, they may not have explained it well, which that's also possible. Because
also, if they're going to the DCU, they do, like I think it stands to reason that we will get other DCU actors. Like, are we going to have, like, the Superman actor?
I don't think so. I think, honestly... I think the only people that are coming back from the DCAU Earth are Batman and Joker, and I think it's just going to be like a one cameo. It's like, okay, so we're flashing to this Earth. Oh, but Batman is fighting the Joker. Back to this Earth,
like they did in the CW,
like they did in the Flash. Only it won't be crappy CGI animation. Cameron says, so I should just give up on Blackest Night movie ever being made. They can do it in the new one because Blackest Night was a post-crisis story. And so no DCAU Wonder Woman. Thank God!
Jared, how would you feel if Flash is the DCAU and it's a Daily Planet, all right? And Clark said it's asking Lois, like, hey, Smallville, what are you doing? You want to do shit? You want to go someplace? Oh, no, I got a date. The elevator opens. It's Diana Prince. She walks in, says, hey, darling, gives them a smooch, and they walk out.
Then I would say, F you, Bruce Timm.
No. And then Superman looks at the camera, winks, and says, F you, Bruce Timm.
Yeah, and Tavia,
and then you wake up.
The Watchmen movie is not connected to the DC universe at all. It's just a separate DC animated movie that they're making. Because as far as I know Jeff Johns tried to put the Watchmen universe in the DC multiverse, but I don't think it is.
It just doesn't work. It's a completely different tone. It just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely part of the DC multiverse. I think that's that.
Nah, because you think they have never on no multiverse map do they ever refer to the Watchmen Earth?
Well, wasn't one of the reboots actually facilitated by Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah, but see, the problem with that, because the way yes, but. Here's the thing. They've never given them an actual Earth. And plus, even with Doomsday Clock, when they crossed over, they never gave it an Earth designation. They just said, oh, he's in his universe. That's it.
This is why I like Marvel better, where every Earth, no matter how small, has an Earth number. Like the MCU, its Earth number is 199999.
Or according to Kevin Feige, it's 616, to which Iman Vellani disputes that to Kevin Feige.
I mean, heck, did you know that Marvel actually teamed up with Toei to create like the Sentai Battle Fever J, and that even has a Marvel multiverse.
The Hostess Snacks Spider-Man has his own Earth.
Spider-Man.
I'm an emissary from hell.
You should do that more often.
Power Ranger Spider-Man. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I think Gunn is trying to do what the expanded universe did, and we all know how that turned out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
too much too soon. Too much too soon.
Okay, wait. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, but so back to what we were talking about with Cartoon Network.
Before we stop, so Suited Podman is Earth 51778.
Oh, cool. So yeah, so
sorry, I had to do it.
Final words. R.I.P. Cartoon Network. Thank you for all the memories growing up. So next topic. Do you guys want to talk about the Captain America trailer, the First Avenger, SDCC?
Well,
we should say First Avenger to last, because I think that's going to take up a lot of time.
Sure. All right, Taladia. What do you want to say?
I was going to say the Captain America trailer.
Trailer?
Yeah, because that's half off the press.
All right, let's do it. All right, transition, please. Where's my intro? Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. So we got the new Captain America trailer finally, and It
looks
doesn't look that bad.
Like I'm kind of meh on the movie. Like it's not atrocious. It's not like, oh my god, this looks so terrible. The Red Hulk, the CG does look a bit dodgy, but it's early. No, it's not. I'm not. I gotta say, Harrison Ford is not the right pick for.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Yeah.
He's
He
very
looks like he's
like low
sleepwalking.
energy.
I mean, the dude is like pushing 90. What do you expect? So I'm not mad at Harrison Ford. Also, it's very clear he did this movie for the paycheck. He's probably getting paid very well. So I'm not faulting Harrison Ford. He doesn't give a crap, and nor should he. Let's be honest.
Cameron says, so is it unreasonable for me to be pissed that Red Hulk is showing up in a Captain America movie and not in a Hulk movie?
Licensing!
I mean, you got to realize the legal situation is still in effect.
Mhm.
Paramount technically still, I think it's Paramount. Universal technically still owns the rights to the Hulk. And the only reason we'll be able to see the Hulk is crossover. I believe She-Hulk is not under that purview. That's why they were able to make
the
the
character of She-Hulk is not. But Bruce Banner is. That's why. That's one of the reasons why I think that that they tried to replace Bruce with Amadeus Cho, because they were like, let's create our own Hulk, then we can use him in the movies. That worked out swimmingly for you.
And I guarantee you, if She-Hulk had done better, they would have happily replaced Bruce with her. But even they admit the show tanked.
Yeah, to the point where it did damage to the brand, and they definitely are not doing a season 2 of that.
And the actress who played Jen went on a bit of a diva rant on social media, and let it be known it was not pretty.
She always.
Well, the thing is, the actress herself, she's a talented actress.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, nothing against her at all.
Like with a better script and director, like she could probably do a good Jennifer Walter.
Captain Falcon's in this movie. Oh, sweet! It's a Nintendo crossover.
Falcon Punch.
It'll be hilarious. Is that every time Sam flies, there's speakers in his jetpack, and you just hear Dan.
Fun thing for you in the trailer. He does like a Man of Steel moment in the trailer. And
where Sam flies, and all of a sudden you hear like a shockwave. Hashtag Zack Snyder's the blueprint. But I like how they're going with the whole conspiracy like idea, and they're basically doing the whole Captain America is now under the command of the U.S. Military. How does that work?
I'm sorry, I gotta be honest.
Mm-hmm.
This movie would have been so much better if Bucky was
Captain
America. Because imagine the plot lines. Like, Bucky's on thin ice with the U.S. government, so, like, he has to be even more careful. Here's my problem with Sam Wilson, okay? If he's, like, there's large parts of this movie where he's not in his Falcon suit. He's basically in a discount Steve Rogers suit.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't have the super soldier serum, so he can't really go, like it's believable.
Basically in that.
Like, if he's in the Falcon suit, I can buy a little bit more, because he's basically in an Iron Man suit. Like he knows how to operate the wings. I can buy him fighting people, especially super soldiers. But if it's just him in the field, it doesn't really work as well. Because, like, when Captain America, when he's barely holding back Thanos, I can believe that because he's a super soldier.
Well, I mean, Nick, you saw Falcon the Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah, and I largely enjoyed it.
Remember at the end when that truck is falling off the like parking structure, and he lifts it up with his thrusters, and he's like Supermaning it?
That's fine. He's using the suit to help him.
No. That's not how that works. It would still crush his arms. The jetpack could hold it up fine because of the thruster, but his arms would not be able to hold up the car.
Only for a few seconds. Now,
I know.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now, if it was
no, I meant Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm just gonna say this real quick, and then JJheat can take over. Like, I know people were saying like, "Oh, it's vibranium." I'm sorry, that Captain America suit is not vibranium. His Falcon Captain American suit is, so I can buy some liberties with that, but not his regular suit.
They think it was vibranium because the Wakandans made it for him, but not everything they had was vibranium.
The one that you saw at the end of Falcon Winter Soldier, yes, that is vibranium.
Yeah,
but the regular one that he's wearing is not.
I mean, maybe that's the same student. He just painted it differently.
No,
but
it's
still, even
different.
that's a
It's
weenie
different.
thing. What were you gonna say, JJheat?
Oh, excuse me. I was just gonna say how, first of all, I'm a fan of Captain America, Ed Brubaker's Captain
Hey, what's up,
America.
Jim?
If
Yes,
you actually read that run, that is one of the few Marvel comics I will highly recommend to this day.
read it. Read it.
And Brave New World would have been so much better if it was a direct sequel or at least a full circle moment for Winter Soldier. Like, can we just acknowledge?
Yeah. Go ahead, Taladia.
I gotta ask you guys this: Thunderbolt Ross, Tash or no Tash? Because in this trailer he has no Tash. Like that really
I prefer
annoys
the
me.
I
mustache.
like how they actually explained it in the movie where it's like, oh, it helps me. Like, also stash. He needs a stash.
I prefer the stash. Yeah, that's part of like his iconic thing.
I know who should have played. I know he's already cast in the MCU, but screw it. J.K. Simmons as Thunderbolt Ross.
That could have actually worked, as a matter of fact. You know what? That's funny. I could see that.
Like, I get that he's like just double cast him. I don't care.
I guarantee you, they're not going to care either. You could you could do some stuff to make him.
But he would be
different.
perfect for Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah. Does he grow a stash when he hulks out? That would be hilarious if his Hulk form has the mustache.
Oh God.
He has a gamma stash.
Stop.
I was reading some articles, and apparently there's another former Black Widow in this movie.
Yelena is in there?
No, not Yelena, but some new person.
Oh, that's is that the Israeli superhero?
Yeah, and apparently the guy who was the villain in The Mandalorian, he's playing some like race bending character or whatever.
It doesn't matter. I will say they're bringing back the leader from the Incredible Hulk with Norton. So that's actually kind of cool. I'm like, it's about time.
Is the Abomination still alive? Like, did they kill him?
Yes, he's still alive. He's not dead. In fact, when they bring him back in like She-Hulk and Shang-Chi, he's in a more comic accurate look.
And he turns back and forth.
He does. But he's more of like a yoga guru now.
Yep.
Because She-Hulk.
Wait, we're talking about the Abomination or the leader? Because the leader
Abomination. Okay.
They turned Abomination into a joke. You know what's kind of funny? As soon as She-Hulk came out, here's the good part about She-Hulk. You ready? It made people look at the 2008 Hulk movie more favorably now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The 2008 movie was never bad. Like,
it was never bad. Yeah,
it kind of had its own flavor. Like, it was a very grimy movie, and I kind of appreciated it for it. Plus, it kind of sets itself up as a sequel to the 2003 film. Like,
I was just gonna say that.
Like, it's not explicit, but it heavily implies that it's a sequel to the 2003 movie.
Yeah. Oh, Barry Cameron asked a good question. So we need to talk about the elephant in the room. The Thunderbolts. Do we think we're seeing them or in Captain America, or are you alluding? I think alluding to
What are we, some kind of Thunderbolts?
Yeah. I miss Steve Rogers.
Post-credit scene. It's going to be the post-credit scene.
Yeah. I miss Steve. I miss Steve too. But yeah, I do agree with you because, I mean, JJheat. The parts of the Ed Brubaker run where Bucky was Cap and had to like lead the Avengers and like get redemption for being the Winter Soldier.
Perfect
solid.
Setup. Perfect setup.
Oh,
you and I still have to do that discussion, bro.
You're goddamn
by
right.
The way,
do that retrospective.
Oh, so what about the rumored Captain America like putting back all the Stone series?
That's just going to be like a Disney Plus short, if anything.
Oh. Well, if it's like a full,
well, actually,
here's the thing. Here's an episode I want to see. Okay, it's the 1950s or the 1960s. Cap has to stop Bucky from assassinating Peggy Carter.
Or
Too
no,
easy.
He has to try and he has to try and stop the Bucky from assassinating the Starks.
It could work.
The problem with that is.
Time travel.
I mean, we could do Kennedy. We could just have like Bucky try, because Hydra would want to have Bucky assassinate. Like, imagine this: Bucky is one supposed to assassinate Kennedy from the grassy knoll. Oswald is a backup, so he stops. So he stops Bucky, and then Oswald does it because Oswald is a backup.
Time travel.
I've been waiting so long to use.
You've been waiting on that one, have you?
There was never an appropriate time to drop that. But I mean, that could be cool. Each episode is like him putting back a different stone. Man, him putting back the soul stone and seeing the red skull has got to be interesting. That I want that to see that. He's like, oh, remember where I sent you here? Hey, what's up, a-hole? By the way, you lost the war.
Oh god, yeah, that would be interesting.
Wait,
the Asgard one would be really, really interesting. Like I imagine he goes up to he enters Asgard and immediately Thor's mother be like, "Oh, hello, I have something for you. Oh yes, please, thank you. He's been looking for that." Like the mother just knows.
And the hammer, he gives the hammer back. Go ahead, JJheat.
Okay, if he's going to give the soul stones back to Red Skull, does he have to sacrifice someone? Because I'm pretty sure that's how the soul stone works.
No, yes, no, that's to get the soul stone. I'm pretty sure if he gives it back, but then again, that asks the question: if he gives back the soul stone, does the soul that was sacrificed
get revived?
No. What's better is he says that to the Red Skull, and the Red Skull's like, no. Also sacrificed, stay sacrificed.
That's the last episode, and Steve well, no, actually, no. He has to come back because he was in the last scene of Endgame.
No. What it is the only you can only trade a soul for a soul, and it has to be what you love most. So basically, he can sacrifice Peggy for Nat, and he chooses to let Nat stay dead because he knows that's what she would have wanted.
Oh, that's interesting. I could see that working.
You could even bring back Scarlett Johansson, and they could have this conversation in the Soul Stone, and she tells him that. Like, come on.
Oh, there you go. That works.
Even though Scarlett Johansson has like a beef with Disney, if Chris Evans asked her to come back for the scene, she would do it.
Yeah, and then Ian said that was before the whole time travel, yada yada yada. He did that thing first, and they could just stay on the hill and nap away for him to return.
Okay, basically, he, at least in the context of Endgame, he was only gone for 5 minutes. He goes back and technically he's a doppelganger. There's really two Steves. One who goes back to bring the stones back, and the other that's in 1945 married to Peggy.
And the funny part is the old man, it was retcon, is one of Peggy's pallbearers at her funeral in Civil War.
Well, basically what happens is Steve pretty much has all the stones returned by the 70s, so the loop is closed. So it becomes like the timelines converge after he returns all the stones, because the last stone to return, well, actually, it's probably Avengers or something, or whatever.
Either one.
Like once he returns all the stones, the thing is the timelines are converged.
The loop closes basically. It could be the Tesseract or it could have been the Soul Stone. We just don't know.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say, that kind of makes like her dementia when she says Steve's back. That kind of makes it even more heartbreaking when you realize she probably had a full life with him. And he probably was like, I have to go, kind of thing.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually true. I never thought of that. Oh man. Okay, now back to Warren.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, Brave New World.
Yeah.
Which it's according to Falcon Winter Soldier, he's dead. But going to Brave New World, yeah, I mean it doesn't look bad. If you notice. You know what was shown? Remember in Eternals when that Eternals, that Celestial's hand comes out? They're fighting there. They're finally acknowledging it.
After 10,000, Kevin's like, after 10,000 years, I'm free. I can finally acknowledge the hand.
Which is kind of funny. It kind of makes it really stupid that they never acknowledged a giant hand/head coming out of the earth. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I feel like Eternals was originally supposed to be standalone, and okay. I mean, we kind of phase 4.
You know what the original ending for the Eternals is? The Eternals were supposed to lose, and Earth was supposed to blow up.
Like I said, Eternals are supposed to be a standalone.
That was the original ending for Eternals, according to the director, that she wanted the Eternals to lose, and then the Celestial, like, I think she wanted to be a very Elseworlds like movie.
Please tell me why she was allowed to direct an MCU movie again.
I don't know,
we
because
don't know.
remember, past Endgame, they were trying to do. Because here's the thing: what people didn't realize about the phases after Endgame is that the reason why they had no plan is because they were trying to do more isolated, self-contained stories.
They didn't really communicate that very well.
No, they didn't, because they were like, they didn't tell us anything of that except for Kevin Feige saying, "Yeah, there is no plan. We're just doing like self-contained stories."
Like, remember when Kevin Feige said, like, "Oh, actually, there's not really any phases anymore." And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, phase 4 is over, guys."
Yeah, I know. Go ahead, Taladia.
Well, basically, what Nick Jared is trying to say, they Walter Hamaded it, which is
All right.
All
Why
right.
did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
No, I got a better clip for that asshole. Oh boy.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
There you go.
All right.
That's a
it's
better
true
one.
though, isn't it? Am I right, Jared? Yes or
After
no?
the Thanos snap, I don't think people care much about a giant hand. No, that happened after the snap. Oh yeah. He's like, after like half the universe snapping and then coming back, do you really think they cared about the hand? They're probably like, it's just another thing.
They probably think it's a rock.
But we should cover the Eternals one day as a joke. That'd be a fun thing.
That'd be a good April Fool's dream.
Hey, there you go. Because
Well,
we covered
Jared,
all
I
the
guess
Captain
you found
Marvel
your
movies.
movie.
What?
Guess we found your movie for April Fools.
I like that movie, so it's not even a problem.
All right, Taladia.
It's mid. It's mediocre, but I'm not going to say it's
Compared
bad.
to the other crap that was coming out at that time, it's not that bad.
Wait, what was coming out at the same time?
It's like a 4 or 5 out of 10 movie.
I give it a 3.
Compared to the other movies that were coming out, which are like 2s.
Like Wakanda Forever, I kind of give it a 6 out of 10 because there are some the sequence where they first initiated the Namor's people, like that is like actually genuinely creepy, where they're just like singing and they jump off the ship, like that is genuinely like terrifying.
And I will say, I do enjoy it. Gets an extra like 2 or 3 points because they pants Namor in that movie, and I freaking hate that character.
Also, it's very beautifully shot. Like
Yeah.
the film itself is actually very, very, very like for a Marvel film, it is surprisingly well shot. Because most Marvel films are very flat with like dull lighting, and that's the other thing with the Eternals that I actually appreciate. Those 2 movies, they actually had like dynamic lighting. They didn't look like Marvel movies, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but so before you guys ask, Namor is the lowest lane of Marvel as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, that is a stretch. You're comparing a generational.
I want him to die in a wood chipper feet first, as far as I'm concerned.
Wouldn't he already die for being on land for so long? What's the point of the wood chipper? Unless
He
you're
double dies.
But that doesn't make any sense. Okay,
He dies,
It
and you
does.
make it
It does.
impossible. I will say there was a Squadron Supreme comic where Hyperion uses heat vision and cuts his head off.
say what you will about Namor. Excuse my language. Being a. Say what you will about that.
Mm-hmm.
But at least in most of the situations, Frank Reed Richards is a workaholic and a bit of an egomaniac.
Nope. He was hitting on Emma Frost when she was dating Scott. The dude's a total douchebag.
Just zeroed in. That is like as a licensed therapist, I got my license like 0.5 seconds ago. As a licensed therapist, my diagnosis of why he hates Namor so much is exactly that. Jared has just admitted his pathos for why he hates it. Because Namor hit it on his waifu.
While she was with someone else, so he because here's the thing, guys.
One of his secret tips.
Okay, so wait. To any girls possibly watching this show for some reason, I want to say this: there's an unwritten rule in the bro code. You don't hit on another man's girlfriend / wife. That's not done.
Sadly, there's no girls here. This is the He-Man woman haters.
Where's Nyx? Jeez. But if she weren't sick, I'd have her in there as a token girl so I could say this. But no, as far as I'm concerned, Namor deserves to be taken out back and beaten by the Hulk. As for all I care.
Dude, he is literally one of the he is one of two original Marvel characters. He deserves some respect. Him and the Human Torch.
The past Namor deserves respect. This one is not that same guy. Somehow they were switched by Skrulls.
Well, here's my assignment for you. When you write for Marvel, I want you to create a better Namor.
Oh, yeah. What I'll do is I'll retcon it so that one was a Skrull the whole time, and then Namor will show up and stab that dude in the face.
And he's having a conversation with Emma. And he's
Didn't Namor try to flirt with Susan Storm in one of his earliest appearances?
Yeah, but she wasn't married to Reed at that point.
Okay.
So yeah, what I would do is have it so Namor, so that Namor was a Skrull the whole time. The real Namor, the hero Namor, shows up, kills him, goes, "Stop impersonating my throne." Goes to Emma and Susan, and goes, "I am so sorry. I don't know what the hell that guy's problem was." And then I tell Marvel, "Yeah, if you do this again, I will be very pissed."
Speaking of being pissed off, anyone else annoyed that Moon Knight was literally off shelved for a few months and brought back?
As a character, I have no. I don't read Moon Knight, so I watch the show. The show is confusing.
That's his history in a nutshell. Moon Knight has always been a character that's always been on just on the verge of being mainstream popular and cult hit. Daredevil used to be a cult character, but he kind of passed into mainstream in the 90s, and now as far as mainstream, Daredevil's kind of at the bottom of the tier, but he's still mainstream popular. Moon Knight is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Daredevil's hype into mainstream was relatively recent. Daredevil, excuse me.
I do think the 2003 movie helped a lot, but also I probably
the Netflix show, dude.
The Frank Miller run was his ascension into mainstream popularity.
Yeah, and the Netflix show.
That's what we're alluding to, the Netflix show. Now, but even then, the movie was the foundation. Mm-hmm. The movie walked so Netflix could run.
I would argue the Frank Miller run was what cemented him as a mainstream character.
No, but the show and the movie brought him to the attention of non-comic book readers. That's what we have to realize.
Agreed. I mean, to be fair, that's how I learned about Daredevil was the Ben Affleck movie.
Me too. And that was my first exposure to Evanescence, and my life has been pretty good since then.
Oh, okay. So
there is no bro code. Guys steal chicks all the time. The women just no, but
there is a bro code.
Dave, there is a bro code, dude. I'm sorry, dude.
So, do you remember, for a minute there was that rumor that Jon Favreau was going to take over directing Batman? Do you remember how that was going to be something for a minute?
So that would be Iron Man, but Batman, pretty much. Not bad, actually.
No. So Jon Favreau played Foggy in So I always imagined, he's taking Ben. It's like, so Ben, we thought of a new suit for the movie, and then they unveil it, and it's the 2003 Daredevil suit. They do it as a joke to him. It's like, hey, we got your new
Here's the suit, and then he's like, yeah, it's that suit. No, it's red and animated. I had to. Barry, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out soon. I'm so excited for that.
All right, now let's have a 20-minute conversation about the color red.
Okay, so
that's a deep cut.
So continuing on, so let's talk. So we can talk about. All right, so we have one more topic before the first Avenger. San Diego Comic-Con possibly leaving San Diego because of high hotel rates. So it'll probably be in a place next as Vegas, which makes sense because that's like party capital of the world.
Okay, so the thing is, the appeal of San Diego Comic-Con is the closeness to celebrities. Celebrities don't have to drive far to get there. So anywhere San Diego moves, it has to be a reasonable distance for celebrities. So that kind of limits it vastly. Anything in California is off the table, first and foremost. Las Vegas is kind of the obvious choice. The only other choice that might happen is Phoenix. like have it be in Phoenix, because I can see because that's close enough. It has the facilities to accommodate it. Plus, they might get better deals. But I think Las Vegas is probably the best equipped because there's a lot of hotels that are competing that would love to host Comic-Con that would probably give really good deals. Because I guarantee you, any hotel on the Strip would love to host Comic-Con. Like, that kind of money coming in, like, they would be falling over themselves. So I think, like Portland, maybe, but that might be a little bit too far. But in terms
but these people are super rich. They could fly cross country if they had to.
Like, but it's also but what I'm saying is the convenience. So I think Las Vegas is probably is in my opinion the best choice.
No, Tevy, it's not dead. No one said it's dead. We said it's moving.
But if we're gonna do anywhere in the U.S., then in that point it's probably going to be someplace in Texas or Florida.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great if it's in Florida because then I could actually go.
Yeah, because Comic-Con is always going to be in the summer. That's always going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, agreed.
And it has to be in a major city. Chicago, maybe, but I don't see that happening. New York's not going to happen because New York has New York Comic-Con, which is a direct competitor to San Diego, so that's not going to happen. I can see somewhere in Florida.
But Florida has Florida SuperCon. Would that compete?
Same as long as it's not in the same time period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be Atlanta because Dragon Con. Like even if they're not in the same like time period, there's still a major con. Like Seattle has Emerald City, but Emerald City is not as big. So like I could maybe see it go to Seattle.
I would say
Las Vegas is probably is my prediction.
Yeah,
I would have to agree with you, Nick. I think Las Vegas makes the most logical sense.
Ideal choice
Because
Las Vegas is still pretty close to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and another thing too, because it's a very popular destination for people to go for the Las Vegas Strip and everything and all of that. I can see people just going to the event there, not only for the Comic-Con.
So Las Vegas,
remember, ladies and gentlemen, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
So to drive from Las Vegas to LA is 4 hours. Yeah, that's very doable. LA to San Diego. San Diego is 2 hours. Yeah. So it's doubling it, but 4 hours is still a reasonable time for this kind of thing. And that's driving, by the way. So it's doable for a lot of these celebrities.
Excuse me.
But
interesting.
But the thing about Vegas is there's a lot of hotel. Like it's not as like, yes, Vegas is super expensive, but it's nowhere near expensive as California. But also there's competition. That's the other thing you got to think about. There is probably like 3 or 4 different like hotel chains that own like all the hotels on the Strip. And any one of these hotels would love to host it. So they will be cutting deals. And if hotel rooms are a consideration, they will be discounting hotel rooms for like certain people. So I could see a deal being made. The problem with San Diego is it's not as competitive of a market. Plus, like I said, these Las Vegas chains would love to host San Diego because that it would be like because all these nerds coming in, obviously the gambling and all the facility stuff. That is like gold mine. Like we're talking probably billions of dollars at stake here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like they'll be cutting some deals for the people.
Mm-hmm. I think that works. So transitioning to our last topic, Captain America.
Transition.
All right. The First Avenger, aka not a bad introductory movie for Captain America. I like this one. So let's go around real quick. I'll start with Nick. So your thoughts on Captain America, the First Avenger in general?
0 out of 10 because it doesn't have the Rocketeer in it.
What are your real thoughts on Captain America, the First Avenger?
By the way, the Joe Johnston directed the First Avenger, and he also directed the Rocketeer, and it's set in the similar time period. So that's why I made the joke.
It's low hanging.
So in a way, Joe Johnston also made an Iron Man movie.
Sure.
You walked right into that, Nick. You walked right into that. Come on.
That's the real Civil War: Captain America versus the Rocketeer.
Okay, if we're getting like that kind of cross continuity, the love interest is Jennifer Connelly, and Jennifer Connelly was Betty Ross in Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh no, we're bringing that Hulk movie.
Like this is my autistic superpower is I know all these actors and I can I am very good at 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, by the way.
Wait, that means her father in the Hulk was also a ghostwriter, so that means that Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider is in this universe too.
Wait, where are you making that connection?
Because her father was Carter Slade, the old cowboy Ghost Rider. The actor
Sam Elliott isn't in this movie.
No, he was in the Ang Lee Hulk movie that featured Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, that was Sam Elliott. He's not. Oh,
now he's clicked on.
Now he got it.
He's clicked on.
He was really a Ghost Rider all along, so that means that Nicolas Cage is also a Ghost Rider in this universe.
Okay, we need to do this stream where we have like these like connections because I'm really good at this stuff.
Anyway, Gal Gadot shows up only because we all know she makes any movie instantly hotter.
Okay, this is going to be a controversial pick, but like Jennifer Connelly, especially like Rocketeer era Jennifer Connelly, blows Gal Gadot out of the water.
No.
You got to compare.
Jennifer
You got to
Connelly
compare the two, Jared.
is a goddess. She still looks amazing, and she was at.
She's not that good of an actress to play Wonder Woman. I'm sorry.
Wait.
I'm talking pure beauty. I'm talking like pure beauty.
Yeah, but Nick, I'm not going by Twitter fan cast rules. I'm going by actual acting ability.
Well, the thing is, Jennifer Connelly is a heck of a lot better actress than Gal Gadot. I'm not saying Jennifer Connelly can play Wonder Woman, but Jennifer Connelly is still.
Yeah, but is she a good actress for the role? No.
We're not talking about Wonder Woman. I'm just saying Jennifer Connelly is hotter than
this
Gal
whole
Gadot.
conversation started because you fan cast her as Wonder Woman. Stop moving the goalposts.
I never cast as Wonder Woman.
Anyway,
I said Jennifer Connelly is hotter than Gal Gadot.
No, she's not.
And you brought in Wonder
No,
Woman.
she's not. That's objectively false, brother. But anyway, moving on to Captain America: The First Avenger. Back to that. Let's get this crazy train back on the road before we hit a child.
Speaking of hotness, so when they're doing the double date for the World's Fair, did you notice who Bucky has on his arm? That's Jenna Coleman, otherwise known as the Doctor's companion.
Okay. You know what's also cool in the World's Fair? You see like the Easter egg to the original Human Torch.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Phineas's marvelous creation.
Yep. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So they're doing all that. I'm surprised they didn't have a name or like a reference at some point. But so going back to this.
By the way, Jenna Coleman plays Claire Oswald on Doctor Who. For those.
I don't watch Doctor Who, so what are you making that reference, dude?
Because it's one of her earliest roles, and I wanted to point it out.
Now, while those two are still bickering, we get back on track.
We're bickering like an old gay couple.
Okay, let's get the show back on the road, please.
Comics League moment.
Anyway,
as I was saying, Cameron, to acknowledge, yes, the main reason they altered the MCU to be Bucky falling from the cliffside rather than trying to stop a bomb is because it would have been too comparable to what happened to Jason and Death in the Family. I argue Jim Staley.
Well, also it's because
some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Dweeb.
You had your finger on the button.
No, I really had my finger on this one.
It fills out his clothes like lentils fill out a sandwich bag.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. But anyway, continuing on. When we first meet Steve, he's reading a newspaper about World War II and all the soldiers dying, but I like how it doesn't deter him from constantly trying to serve. And at this point in time, it's kind of cool seeing someone that tried so hard to serve their country but can't because of a medical condition, or in his case, many.
Yeah, like that's actually kind of real life. Like a lot of soldiers were like that. You kind of saw a similar thing in World War One. Like in Europe, they had like the White Feather Society for like the people who couldn't enlist, and there were real stories of men committing Sudoku on themselves when they got the White Feather. I'm sorry, I'm trying to like dance around words for YouTube.
I know, but anyway, so then he meets Stanley Tucci, and Stanley Tucci shows up and
he meets Flickerman.
Yeah, he meets the announcer from the Hunger Games, and yeah, they start. So he basically says, so he recruits.
Please highlight Dave's soldier.
Feel Burton.
Well, who's Bert and who's Ernie? That's the question.
Anyway, whichever one's older, that's Nick. So anyway, continuing on, Captain. They bring him in and say, we are trying to create a super soldier. And so then they go through training. What's kind of funny is that the general is like, when Steve is trying to do a push-up, they go, look at him. He's making me cry.
And then I got to say, one of my favorite scene is, we win this war through guts. Grenade! And he's the only one to jump on the grenade.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's still skinny.
He's still skinny.
Tommy Lee Jones was born to play this role.
But I also love where they go, if you get that flag off the flagpole, I will you get a drive back to base with Agent Carter. So he just takes down the pole instead of actually trying to climb it.
I mean, it's work smarter, not harder. And I love Steve. Like here's the thing about Steve. He was weak of body, but not of mind. The dude was still confident. The dude was still sure of himself. Like, I love how he just like does that, gets a flag, gives it to the thing, and while they're still stunned, he just goes out there. Like, he doesn't give.
Yeah, because here's the thing: the instructor never told him he had to climb the pole to get to it. Everyone just assumed that.
Yeah, and it's like he just says like nobody thought to do that, and it's like and like the look that Peggy gave the commander, like
I like to think that's where they were like, no, he's the one. So they recruit him, and then Erskine, I think his name is, tells the story about the super soldier program where he was recruited by the leader of the German army. I'm phrasing it very carefully. This is the problem with covering a World War II movie. You have to cover certain words very carefully because of YouTube. So the leader of the Germans during World War II,
the German painter,
recruits Erskine and says, you're going to make us strong. So they want him to create a super soldier program. So Erskine refuses and leaves, but then you have Schmidt, the Red Skull.
I do wonder how Schmidt could get any work done, because right next door they were developing the jetpack.
Well, also he was also Schmidt was also very busy because in the room next to that he was trying to hunt someone named Mr. Anderson in the Matrix. Because that's Agent Smith.
That doesn't even make sense.
That's Agent Smith. That's how that makes sense.
Mine makes sense because the rocket was a German invention during World War II. So it makes sense. Like, that joke makes sense because they're experimenting.
2 words, Nick.
Time travel.
The Matrix is a computer.
The machines use time travel to go back and prepare Earth for their takeover.
Bernie and Ernie, ladies and gentlemen.
So this is now a Captain America, Matrix, and Terminator crossover.
And the Rocketeer.
What have we done?
So anyway, Hugo Weaving. So it turns out he gave him the
the best. Oh, we're missing one.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of the movie, when he gets the Tesseract, he says, "And the Faha digs for trinkets in the desert." So Indiana Jones is happening.
Indiana Jones is in this too. You know what I wonder? Wait. So Harrison Ford plays Thunderbolt Ross. I wonder if Thunderbolt Ross is an Indiana Jones fan.
Or maybe he's like a descendant of Indy. Like
maybe he's a descendant of Indy and he becomes a Hulk. But anyway, so back to on topic. So Erskine. So Schmidt took a very
Go on.
I have a fan theory. So during the 50s, Indy had a relationship with a woman named Helena Ross, and he left, and then she had the kid, and it was James Ross. He was born with his mother's name, but he's actually the bastard son of Indy.
Okay. So then continuing on, so Schmidt took a unfinished version of the serum, and that's how we got the Red Skull. So that's basically what that is.
I mean, there's more to it than that. Dr. Erskine basically says the thing with super soldier serum is it enhances what's already in you. Good becomes great, bad becomes worse. And so,
which is kind of funny because that kind of explains why John Walker goes crazy in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, the thing is, it kind of ups your greatest emotion. Steve's was his empathy, so he becomes even more empathetic. Walker was his drive, like his drive to complete the mission. Because you notice, Walker is still a decent person, but he wants it, like his loyal to his country is even more enhanced.
Well, and he only went nuts, if you will, after like his friend was killed.
And yeah, he had just gotten the super soldier serum, so he hadn't really gotten used to it. So, like I'm sorry, I don't blame.
No, I don't.
For that.
Go ahead, Claudia.
I was gonna say, like, the way I feel about the first Avenger, in my opinion,
go
is
ahead.
like, I think this film really tells a good story. Now I understand they had to dip around the whole, nuclear thing from the comics situation, right? I get that. But I think they did a good story in terms of telling Captain America's origin, and I also feel Chris Evans played the part really, really well. Like
he really torched the role.
Watch it.
Yeah, part of me believes that like the robot Human Torch, like yes, it makes sense that it would be there, but I think it was also a bit of a subtle nod to Chris Evans' other character.
Cameron says, by the way, I heard a rumor that there was supposed to be a scene with Steve and Logan rescuing Magneto. I don't think that's true. Here's why. This was during the time when Marvel didn't want to acknowledge the X-Men at all because they didn't have the film rights.
I mean, in the comics, Wolverine has been a member of the Howling Command.
In the comics, yes, but I'm talking about in the movies, there's no way they would have in any way acknowledged any X-Men characters.
Especially at this time, that would not have happened. Wolverine was almost in Spider-Man. He was almost in Spider-Man. Like that was actually planned.
Go ahead, JJheat.
And Nick probably understands the situation more than I do. But first off, before Hugh Jackman was the only real actor they could really market for the Fox versus side, you also had Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. There was a commission around the time they were paying the licensing fee to put Spider-Man in the MCU. Now, Nick, you understand the context of the situation more than I do, but I will say this for those who are just entering the channel or have never seen the four of us together on a show before. Andrew Garfield, for one reason or another, because Nick knows the situation more than I do, he ended up blowing it, and it cost him the role. And Tom Holland...
Yeah, I think that's a little bit later on in the timeline, though. You're kind of putting yourself a little bit ahead of yourself.
Okay. If you could go ahead.
The Amazing Spider-Man came out in 2012. I'm sorry, I'm just looking up dates just so that I have.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was in 2014, I believe. 2014, 2015.
Amazing Spider-Man was 2012.
Yes, we're way far in the timeline. So Captain America: The First Avenger was a 2011 film, and Spider-Man came out in 2012. So when they were making it, because the thing you got to realize is
pre-production.
Because Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007. And Sony kind of dicked around with Sam Raimi for a little bit, developed Spider-Man 4, then he dropped out, then they rebooted it for Amazing Spider-Man. So around the time that Captain America was done, Andrew Garfield was basically the Spider-Man at that point, but his movie hadn't come out yet.
Okay.
So Spider-Man. Wait, why are we talking about Spider-Man again?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. This is supposed to be about Captain America, but anyway.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Circling back to Captain America. So
JJheat,
anyway,
why are we talking about why are we talking about this, JJheat? Please.
I have no idea.
Because I was trying to make a parallel between the Foxverse licensing and Sony's licensing.
How is it connected to the MCU?
All I'm saying is that Marvel didn't want to acknowledge anyone they didn't have the rights to.
Well, the thing is, Sony and Marvel always had a bit of a more of a cordial relationship. Like Sony, like Marvel actually did do some marketing for Amazing Spider-Man. Like there was actually some tie-ins. I'm not sure if there's a tie-in comic, but like they were a little bit more friendly with the Spider-Man stuff. It was Fox that they were kind of at war with. That's why you had the X-Men embargo of the 2010s. And as far as like the Toby, like the Andrew entering the MCU, those conversations weren't until after Amazing Spider-Man 2 and 3, like Amazing Spider-Man 3 got canceled. Like there was actually a brief conversation to bring Andrew into the MCU, but that didn't happen. The source for that is the Sony leaks, and I'm just going to stop right there because I'm going way off topic.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Captain America. So the other thing I like about this, and Taladia actually, the other thing Taladia kind of touched on, this works as a World War II movie too, ignoring the superhero BS. It's a good World War II movie when you think about it.
Imagine if Cap had lived longer and he was in the Japanese campaign. Just imagine if Hacksaw Ridge was an MCU movie where
Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Jeez.
Also,
that's why Andrew Garfield's character didn't want to use guns.
He's not Batman.
But Spider-Man doesn't use guns unless he's the Punisher.
You want to know what Desmond Doss's weakness is? Knives.
I'll say this before I have to leave because I have to dip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say this movie I would recommend people to watch this film. If you haven't watched an MCU film before, I would recommend to watch this not as a superhero film, but as a historical piece. Because if you think about it, it is like a historical peace period where it takes place in the World War period, and it shows that what the America stand for, and that's what I've got to say about the film. Like, please don't judge it as a comic book film, but maybe judge it as a piece of history, if you know what I mean.
We do. We hear you, Taladia. We hear you.
So I'm gonna dip.
All right, dude. I'll see you around.
All right.
So then we get we get the whole throughout this movie, the other character is Howard Stark, which I think it's really funny how Howard Stark acts exactly like Tony Stark at this point. He's basically still a playboy. Yeah, go ahead.
Another one of the crazy cameos is the woman that makes out with Steve in that one scene is Natalie Dahmer, the woman who'd go on to play Marjorie Tyrell in Game of Thrones. I'm sorry, this movie is filled with actors in their early roles pre-fame, and I'm all there for it.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And what you don't know is that she's a descendant of that character because Game of Thrones is the prequel to the MCU.
That makes no sense, Jared.
Yes, it does. How else is Natalie Dormer in the MCU and in Game of Thrones?
Variant. She's a variant of Marjorie Tyrell.
But the multiverse wasn't created yet.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't actually. In according to Loki, it wasn't created at that point. No.
No, I created it.
Anyway, continuing on with Captain America.
You're so done with my.
So he goes to. So he becomes a super soldier, but I like how they don't immediately put him on the front lines because that's so what the government would do. They turn him into a propaganda piece.
I love how witty the dialogue is. It's like, how do you feel? Taller. And then, okay, this factoid has been done to death. This is a play to death thing. But when he goes and that was not in the script. That was actually improvised.
Tevia, it's called a joke. I was making a joke. I know. Obviously, I know it came out before the MCU.
It's okay. Let's just move on, buddy. It's all right.
Then we get to
RJ.
Hey, what's up, buddy. RJ? How you doing, dude? I agree with those points, Dave. I didn't mind his portrayal. Yeah, it was pretty good.
But
So,
like that first chase, it's full of like really nice little tidbits. Like I love how he just like takes the cab and blocks the bullets, and it's got like this star. It's supposed to be like an early shield, and the other one is like, oh, if you don't, I'll do the kid, and then he throws it, and you think he's gonna have to dive in there, but it's like, no, I can swim. Go after him. See, Ryan Johnson, that is how you subvert expectations.
But you see what? Yeah, well, actually, no. This is what real talent looks like, Ryan Johnson. Anyway, continuing on.
Also, I just realized Joe Johnson, Ryan Johnson.
Well, the other funny part is that when he's a propaganda piece, that's when they put him in the classic Captain America suit from like the old comics, and he has the shield.
Classic
I like that.
suit.
That was really, and then they turned. I used that in school because I got to like do a politics and comics like brief class, and I did that. I played that clip because that is just so good. I love where he keeps punching the leader of the German army, and then he references that later in the movie. I really like that one.
Also, did you notice that when they're printing out the Captain America comics, it was the cover from Captain America?
It was the first Captain America comic there. I love that. I love when they do that. And then so continuing on. So then Bucky Barnes is captured. I mean, his entire unit is captured. You could say they were really howling while they were captured. So then Steve just grabs a helmet and dressed up and just. I love where she goes. Where Peggy Carter goes. You can't give me orders. He goes, the hell I can't. I'm a captain, and he just jumps.
He pulled rank. Also, did you notice that when he found Bucky, did you realize what he was mumbling?
What?
Name, rank, and serial number.
Yeah, exactly.
Jared, you know the significance of that.
Yeah, because that's what when a soldier's captured, that's the only thing they're trained to like tell the enemy. At this point, if you're in a job that has the strong possibility of you're going to be captured, they put you through what's called SEER school or survival, evasion, resistance, escape. And they teach you stuff where you can like, they tell you stuff you can tell them. So it's like you're telling them stuff, but you're not compromising operations. It's kind of a delicate balance and stuff. But anyway, so then I like where he breaks out those soldiers and they go, do you really know what you're doing? Yeah, I personally knocked out the German army 18 times. And they're like, what?
Also, you notice the shield he uses in the sequence is his classic shield from the original run.
Yeah, so he saves Bucky, and then they're trying to escape. And on the catwalk, they see Agent Smith. And then Agent Smith takes off his flesh mask, and it's Ethan Hunt.
I hate this place.
Yeah, so he's the Red Skull, and honestly, the Red Skull makeup looks actually pretty good. I'm like, wow.
It's a mixture of practical and CGI.
Remember when CGI in Marvel movies was actually good?
Yeah.
A shame, really.
Like, Hulk was good. Iron Man still holds up despite being almost 20 years old.
Also, like, speaking of like quippy lines, like, remember, Doctor, not a scotch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So, and that's Arm Zola, and then he comes in Winter Soldier. But anyway, so they escape, and then Captain America is actually promoted to captain, and then he was
promoted to captain before the tour.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. Like when the U.S. guy's like, "Congratulations, you just made the rank of captain."
Oh, okay. I must have.
Yeah,
forgot.
he said, and then so when he was on the USO tour, he was already a captain.
Okay, that makes sense. So they tell him, we'll give you a small team, and you go just mess with Red Skull. And they actually did this in World War II, because World War II is where modern special operations units actually started, because you had the British SAS started here, the OSS. The Navy SEALs actually started in World War II as the underwater demolition teams, where they went in before an invasion force and cleared out the beaches of sand traps.
So you notice how when he wakes up at the end of the movie, he's actually wearing an OSS t-shirt.
Yeah, there you go. Because
by the way, the OSS is the predecessor to the modern day CIA.
Yes. So it was kind of funny. They kind of play with that and made it the predecessor to Shield.
Fair enough.
RJ
It's weird
said,
that in the MCU, like Shield is an entity, but we still have like the CIA and the FBI.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But RJ says some dude at the Denver Fan Expo had a first Avenger movie quality costume complete with motorcycle. He won the con in my book.
Oh my god, that motorcycle must have been expensive because if he's using like a vintage like 1940s like Harley or something, that had to have been expensive.
Yeah. So then, so they have a montage of him just kicking ass. He's in. I like where he goes. So I like where they're going over suit. Shield like designs it, and he holds up the round shield, and he goes, "So what do you think?" Peggy just shoots the shield.
This is one part where I do actually have to have some critique because Peggy was acting very childish, because she saw him kissing, he being kissed by Natalie Dahmer, and he was trying to explain, if a guy did that, if the genders were reversed, Cat would have been kicked. Like Peggy should have been kicked out of the military for that.
Well, here's why: a ricochet. There's people around and you're firing a bullet at a shield, that round's gonna ricochet and hurt anyone. Here's what people don't know. Here's what the people at Marvel apparently don't know. When you shoot something and it hits like steel or like a shield, it's gonna bounce off. It's gonna ricochet.
I will say, it's vibranium, so you could make the argument that when it hits it, it just flattens and drops.
But they never show the rounds at her feet. They would have to show that.
But that's impact absorption. That's a completely different mechanic.
Yeah, it's a different. They never established. The point is, you're right, Nick. They would have been thrown out for. Look this way, regardless of gender, they would have been thrown out of the military immediately.
Because Haley Atwell is an attractive woman, it's like, oh, she's jealous of Steve. Look how she's acting out. If that was a guy, everyone would be like, what the frick are you doing?
And then you know what I love? And then I love where as she's walking away, he just hands him he hands Howard Stark a piece of paper. He goes, "I had some thoughts about the uniform." And then it's
also just, did they? I know he said vibranium, but did he actually flat out say Wakanda?
No, he just said that. It wasn't until Avengers 2 when they mentioned Wakanda and where it was from.
But the fact that he said vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, Ulysses Claw helped T'Chaka's brother, Killmonger's father, smuggle vibranium out of Wakanda. So
yeah, I think Howard Stark actually made a straight up deal with the Wakandans or something.
Oh, he definitely did. He definitely did. But anyway,
because the Wakandans they view the Shield as legit. Like, yes, this is the Americans.
And get this man a shield.
Like, I think the Wakandans, okay, this vibranium was legitimately purchased or whatever. It was not stolen. I think also the Wakandans realized that the shield is kind of an American artifact. It would be like if the Wakandans went into the archives and stole the Declaration of Independence. And yes, I just deliberately just.
Well, we already know Ghost Rider did that. I have to do that. I have to do that.
Wait. All right. So Ghost Rider did that with the help of Lara Croft's father.
Yes. Exactly. So then...
also, the devil in the 60s actually traveled around the United States with King Koopa.
The devil in the 60s?
I know what he's talking about.
Peter Fonda, and Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper would play Koopa in the Mario movie.
I don't know who any of those people are. Continuing on. So then,
Easy Rider is like a quintessential Americana movie, dude.
I never watched it. So anyway, continuing on.
To be fair, neither have I, but I know of it.
So there was a montage of World War II action scenes, which were great.
Read Dave's comment, please.
Nick, no. So then, the plan is they're going to capture Zola on the train. So I love where Bucky's like, you remember that time I brought you to Coney Island and you threw up on the Ferris wheel? is this payback for that? Again, to Nick's point, I love the dialogue here.
The banter.
Yeah, they definitely do a really good job of selling Bucky and Steve's long-term friendship. Like,
Or
I
in
could
terms
buy
of
these
Twitter,
two.
romantic attachment, because that's a thing.
Oh God, no.
But anyway, continuing
Also,
on.
by the way,
I don't even want to know.
if we're going by 2011 logic, this would be Tumblr.
Oh yeah, Tumblr. Sorry, continuing on. So they fight on the train. They fight on the train, and then Bucky dies. And I say dies because this soldier takes a nap in the winter. Let me put it to you that way.
I guess you could say the train job cost him an arm and possibly a leg.
I think it was just an arm. But so he becomes the Winter Soldier. We don't find that out until Winter Soldier.
I love how he dies in winter. So the soldier dies in winter.
Yeah, and then I love where
I am on fire with these bad jokes.
And then I love where Steve is drinking like booze, but he can't get drunk because the super soldier serum supercharges metabolism.
By the way, that the same thing happens to Wolverine. That's why Wolverine drinks so much. Is because the alcohol he barely has a chance to get drunk before the alcohol is filtered out of his system.
I think it's the same thing with Bruce Banner. I think maybe even Superman.
To a degree.
With Superman, I think they invent like some alien drink like they did with Supergirl. Well, like it's a really strong alien drink that can make like Kryptonians drunk or something. Like that's probably what they do oftentimes.
And then
like,
Wonder Woman brings him Amazonian wine, and obviously that works because magic. So anyway, continuing on. So then, so they track where Schmidt is, and it's in this big mountain complex. So they Captain America gets intentionally captured. He like opens the door for the whole assault, and then they fight through the facility. Cap jumps on Red Skull's plane, and it just takes off. And then little does anyone know, this is the last time they would see Captain America. And so then it's a big battle scene. Go ahead, Nick.
There's a deleted scene in Endgame where Don Cheadle calls out Cap for not jumping out of the plane. I'm sorry, Cap would have died anyway.
Yeah, he was gonna die.
I think he said like the autopilot was broken, and he needed to put the thing down in the water, or whatnot. Like
it was damage around the area because I think the Red Skull was also shooting around the cockpit, so that is a believable thing.
Well, the Red Skull was already part of the
Whisked away.
No,
I'm saying during their fight before he got teleported away, I think I remember him like firing very like widely, and that could have damaged like the autopilot.
Yeah, like
wait, was there autopilot at this point in 1945?
Very early innovations for it.
Well, usually it was like radar guided or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like even if he just like locked the stick in place or something, he needed to see it. Like let's say everything could. If he jumped out, it'd be the middle of the ocean. He would be dead before they found him.
Even in the cold ocean, so he still would have frozen.
Close to that.
So
yeah,
same
he still
result.
would have been a capsicle.
Yeah.
Because like anyone who's watched Titanic like knows all the stuff. Like even the super soldier, he might last longer, but he would eventually still get hypothermia.
Dave, Lois Lane accidentally takes a sip and dies instantly from alcohol poisoning. Jared would love that. Don't tempt me, Dave. Don't tempt me. So
okay, Jared. Please tell me in your book you're going to create a Lois Lane stand-in.
Yep.
That is just
Louise
like a
Lame. Louise Lame.
And like he's always trying to hit on Atlas, and he's just like, no.
Yeah, she's like, I'm dating someone infinitely
like,
better
I'm sorry,
than
as much
you
as you bash Lois Lane, you need to create a stand-in for all your take all your hatred out on him.
Oh, in which case, I would create a supervillain, but basically make his name sound like Namor, and then I would have instantly one of my characters just like punch him into a wall and cut off his head.
No, what you need to do is you need to make it the ex-boyfriend of your Aqua character.
No, I'm not sullying any of my characters by dating a turd. So continuing
Or
on.
it's like a
Amber
stalker,
Heard
a
did it.
childhood stalker of the.
No, I'm not taking suggestions right now. We're talking about Captain America.
No, seriously, when did Amber Heard get into this?
So then,
JJheat,
Thank you.
did you just crap the bed?
so
I did not.
Who did that?
No.
so then, we continuing on with the freaking movie. Then we get so Cap is frozen, and then he wakes up in the modern day. He doesn't know it's the modern day yet. They try and recreate a hospital room. The problem is they actually on the radio is playing a baseball game that Steve was actually at.
Okay, headcanon time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think Shield is dumb enough to make that kind of mistake. I think they purposely played that game because like they may not have been sure it was the real Cap. Like it could have been a doppelganger. Like they wanted to test A, is it the real Cap, and B, would he detect it? Like they wanted they wanted to see. Like
If
you
there's
notice how
if there's any like brain damage or anything like that.
like you notice how he had very little resistance to get out onto the street.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think they wanted that to happen. They wanted him to see it on his own terms.
yeah, and I mean even in like the Ultimate Comics or like the Ultimate Avengers movie, which is very underrated by the way. They have a scene where like a lot of Shield agents are coming at him, and Fury goes, "Nope, let him go outside and let him see this." And then he sees like the world, and then I like the whole "I had a date" thing. I like that
they
one.
very much let him escape. I think it was also to build a trust thing because if they had really tried to like restrain him or something, it kind of makes them trust him easy if they didn't really like resist, like try to hold him in there. You know, so I think it was more of a planned thing because he wasn't in a cage. He was clearly not in a cage. Like they weren't trying to imprison him.
Yeah, exactly.
He was at that game, like in person.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think. So all in all, general thoughts in terms of rating this movie out of 10, I give it a solid 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. It was a solid movie. I freaking love it. And definitely, I miss this era of Marvel movies where it was banger after banger after banger. How about you, Nick? How do you rate this movie out of 10?
This is a 9.5 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie, but god dang is it close. All the actors are perfectly cast. They do all the roles great. It's quippy, but more of in a naturalistic kind of way. Like they're not trying to tell jokes. The jokes just kind of come out of the situation. Like
So in other words, in other words, it's the not Joss Whedon way of putting humor in movies.
I still think his humor works in the Avengers. I will defend him.
He had a good balance in the Avengers.
Falling into Black Widow's boobs. That's all I got to say.
Age of Ultron is a different story. I'm not gonna defend Age of Ultron, but I will defend the first Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you know it's kind of funny. The only Avengers movie we can cover on this channel is 3 and 4. We can't do 1 and 2 because of who directed it.
I mean, we could, but we wouldn't have.
Yeah, we could.
I'm making it. I see. I can't because then I'd be playing the "Why did you say that name?" every time we said his name.
Or you could just say, "All right, we're playing this at the beginning of the show."
Or we'll do another name, Bloss Beaton.
How about this? Wait
all right. I'm just gonna say, let's just call him Keaton.
Nah. But anyway, JJheat, how about you?
As for me, it's a 9. I just got, even though it's not as bad as later films in the MCU, it was just a little too quippy in my taste, especially with the sincerity of the World War II semi-historical vibe they were going with. So it was a little too quippy in my taste. A bit of a nitpick, I know, but other than that, it's a very solid movie. Highly recommend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those to the next point. You know what's kind of funny? A Ross Wheaton. That's funny. But so you know what's kind of funny? This is the type of humor to balance. I hope James Gunn does in Superman.
We could call him Will Wheaton.
No, but I don't want to insult Will Wheaton.
JJheat. Got it.
I don't want to insult Will Wheaton. But
I literally just did this like 2 minutes
But I
ago.
want to insult Will Wheaton. I want to insult him.
no, it's my channel, Nick. So then the other what was I talking about now?
We're talking about the greatest Star Trek character ever.
No, we weren't.
Wait, how did Data come into this?
I don't know.
I thought we were talking about Picard.
Him too.
We weren't
Him
talking
too.
about. What were we actually talking about? I'm being serious right now. What were we
We're
actually talking
Kurt
about?
versus Picard, and who was the greatest captain?
JJheat, what the frick were we talking about?
We were wrapping up Captain America. We were about to go into
So
outro.
your thoughts on
No,
Captain America again? Rating out of 10.
Okay, we were 9 out of 10, just a little too quippy in my taste, but other than that, solid movie.
Oh, I remember what I was saying. I was saying that this movie is what the humor to seriousness ratio. If James Gunn does this for Superman, yeah, he's got it. If he can do this, because I think that this was an appropriate one. So there you go. So all in all, pretty great movie. So JJheat, where can we find you and what we got coming out on your channel?
Well, first of all, you can find me at JJheat75 on Twitter or X, but you can also find me on JJheat Blaze. Thank you so much for 254 subscribers. I will definitely do my 250 celebration in the future.
Hey.
So also stay tuned for my Ccmic retrospective, which should be coming out later on the channel, as well as my manga review for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapters 10.
My kids are growing up.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. And if y'all want me to review Velma, please find a way to give me the 300 before the end of the year.
Heck yeah. All right. So, Nick, where can we find you and what have we got coming out?
You can find me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Find me on YouTube and X, The Phoenix Press. Tomorrow, I'm going to be playing The Witcher, and Jared will be mocking my every move.
No, I actually won't be there this
Well, I
week.
stand corrected in that case. I'll also be doing a con tomorrow, so that'll be great. Tuesday, we'll be continuing our Majora's Mask playthrough. That'll be great. Wednesday, we got Comics Watch. We're talking about the popularity of Batman and Spider-Man and what makes them so special. That'll be pretty cool. Make sure to check out the Lost Kingdom pre-launch link. We go live in 2 weeks. That's going to be pretty nice. My sci-fi fantasy novel, and yeah, I'm almost close to 550. So if you want to see me, my continued mission to drive Jared insane, please sub.
Mm-hmm. And then here is the link to back Nick's novel. So go ahead and do that. So anyway, stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs with General Zod. Zois and Max Abat for life. See you later.
Wonder Bat.